get ready to get into it. And shout out to all our people up in here, Reginald and Ray. Ray, I know you was having some technical issues too, man. Because I wanted you to see if get you to co-host tonight. I know you've been pretty busy, but it looked like you've been kind of in and out the space. So you get a chance, you definitely come on up here. For my folks over there on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and share, subscribe, like, comment on tonight's broadcast. Once again, for my folks that's going to be on YouTube, share, subscribe, like, and comment on tonight's broadcast. We're talking about the Dollar General hate crime mass shooting that took place in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida. One of the biggest cities in the state of Florida. I'm here in the state of Florida as well, too. So shout out to all those people in Jacksonville. Hopefully everybody's safe now, as safe as can be with the madness and the situation that just went on yesterday. Tragic news, tragic indeed. And, we just, like I said, we're going to discuss what went down and what happened and whatnot. And of course, the shooter's been identified. His name is Ryan Christopher Palmetto, I think. Of course, he killed 3 people, and we're going to be discussing that tonight as well, too. All within 11 minutes. All within 11 minutes, this joker went on a shooting spree and took the lives of 3 innocent people that had nothing to do with him whatsoever. He wanted to go out. He wanted to kill black people. He wanted to blame black people for his problems. He wanted to blame black people for his failures. He wanted to blame black people because he couldn't amount to anything in his life. His family, unfortunately, got the information about what he was about to do, but it was too late. And that's a horrible thing. If the family could have got it a little bit sooner, who knows what would have happened? But unfortunately, that's not how life is with what ifs. The fact of the matter is, they couldn't quite get it out there in time, and because of this dude here, he went ahead and he took the lives of a lot of innocent people. So I know the families got to feel like crap right there. They got to feel like crap. Anybody, if you had a child that went out there and did something like that, you're gonna feel like pure crap yourself. But I'm not gonna put this on the family. This is solely on this individual right here. As a grown up, as a grown person, he went out there and he decided to go ahead and kill people for sport, gun people down, gun innocent people down because he can do it. So we're gonna touch up on that. DJ, what's going on? I see you up in the space. Let me know how the audio is tonight. And shout out to our people joining us on this special Sunday night edition of the Newstoter podcast / Twitter space. Thank you guys for coming out. Like I said, I wish it could have been under different circumstances and under a better situation, guys. But again, thank you for coming out and joining us. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna discuss this thing. We're gonna talk about it and and see what's what. DJ, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, Newstoter family? How y'all feeling tonight on this Sunday, man? Bless the family of the victims that got had their life taken by a fucking coward. Excuse my French though, but that's it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's the feeling is very somber. You can say that, man. It's the mood and everything else, and the situation that just took place. And like I say, it hasn't even been a full year since the thing in Buffalo went down. You remember we when that thing in Buffalo went down, we was on it like right then and there. Sister Goddess, she was one of the first ones to actually jump on that and let folks know and notify the situation what was going down in Buffalo. And we went ahead and we discussed that. So shout out to Goddess FBA for the Buffalo situation. But this has just been a horrible tragedy, man. What's up, Ray? You in Georgia and I'm in Florida, and it's definitely hitting home here.
Yeah, definitely, man. So just like what DJ said, I want to say condolences to the victims of this, this use, not useless, but this, this unfortunate travesty. I just want to point out that, like you just said, they had another shooting up in Buffalo, people leaving manifestos and things like that. And they're just blaming us for all the wrongs of society when we literally don't have any money to really, or any place, honestly, in this nation to really affect any type of change. I just want to definitely point that out, man, because these people, the way they think, if they can't be famous, then they're going to be infamous. And this is why they're trying to, their numbers are already low. So they figure, shoot, we got to go out. Might as well take as many black people out with us as we can. So with that being said, family, please make sure y'all stay safe. Make sure y'all stay strapped and don't be a victim.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. I'm gonna touch up on this article real quick, guys. I just tweeted it out just a second ago. And it's been a bunch of different articles, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to actually touch up on, but this was a newer, more updated one, so I'll go ahead and touch up on this. It wasn't even the article I was originally going to actually talk about tonight, but the situation is, it's still developing the story and stuff. So we'll try to go ahead and we'll try to keep up with the one that's more relevant. Like I said, because since then on the actual Newstoter.com platform, there's been about it's probably about 5 to 6 articles that's on the website right now, guys. So we just kind of pick and choose exactly what we want to talk about. But either way, it's just another sickening situation that went down. Something that we can't say could have been prevented, because you never know when you have somebody that's a loose cannon like that and that has a mindset that they want to go out there and they want to harm people and kill people. There's really nothing you can do to really prepare, except, like Ray say, try to keep something on you and try to be as safe as possible, try to be as alert as possible. But it's to the point that people can't even go into the stores, you can't go to the church, you can't go to schools, you can't go to movie theaters, you can't go to the library, you can't go to a gym, you can't go to football games, you can't go to sporting events, you can't kind of go too many places nowadays and not have to worry about some nutcase that's out there that has a chip on his shoulder, mad at the entire world for being a failure, wants to put the blame on a particular group of people, be it by a race or sex, a gender, affiliation, political affiliation, whatever it is, just upset at the world and just wants to kill some people just for the hell of it. So it's really nothing you can do except try to be as safe as possible, try to keep protection on you, try to be as alert as possible, which, sometimes it's easier said than done. We are humans and we do get distracted and our mind does wander. So, let me go ahead and touch up on this real quick, guys. DJ, I'm going to read this off the actual site. Let me know if you can still hear me, because, sometimes you go to these sites and then the actual audio gets lost. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything good. Go ahead. I'm just working around real quick. Go ahead.
Okay, this is from Neo Jim Crow. It says the 11 fatal minutes in a Jacksonville shooting. The sheriff's office identified the 3 victims and the gunman who fatally shot himself in the attack, which authorities are investigating as a hate crime. The gunman who targeted black customers at a Dollar General store in Jacksonville, Florida, killed 3 people in 11 minutes, law enforcement officials said on Sunday, identifying the gunman and 3 victims as they offered a chilling timeline of the shooting that authorities are investigating as a hate crime. Sheriff T.K. Waters of Jacksonville identified the victims as Angela Michelle Carr, 52, Joseph Lagarde Jr., known as AJ, 29, and Gerald Deshaun Gallion, 19. He identified the gunman as Ryan Christopher Palmetta, a white 21-year-old from neighboring Clay County. The gunman began his rampage around 1:08 p.m. on Saturday morning by shooting 11 times into a car parked outside the Dollar General. The sheriff said he then killed a second person inside the store before chasing some customers out. It's unclear why, and then returning to shoot a woman he did not injure. He later killed a third person inside the store. When the sheriff's deputies arrived at 1:19 p.m., they heard a single gunshot, which most likely was a gunman killing himself. Sheriff Waters said, when a person grabs a hold of a gun with hateful intentions, it's very difficult to stop this from happening, he said. The gunman had no criminal record, though. The authorities had him held in involuntary 72-hour psychiatric evaluation in 2017 when he was 15, the sheriff said. A year earlier, when the gunman was 14, the police received a domestic violence call involving him and his brother. The gunman legally bought the 2 weapons he used in the shooting, a Glock handgun and an AR-15 style rifle, in April and June, Sheriff Waters said in a news conference. In the subsequent interview, Sheriff Waters, a Republican, said that the 2017 psychiatric evaluation under Florida law known as the Baker Act did not appear to show up in the background checks available to the gun dealers, perhaps because the gunman had been a minor at the time of the evaluation. Shortly before the shooting on Sunday, the gunman was spotted putting a tactical vest in a parking lot at Edward Waters University. That's a small HBCU private institution. A campus security guard saw him, and the gunman drove away in a gray Honda Element. The guard reported the gunman's suspicious presence to a nearby sheriff's deputy, Sheriff Waters said, but no one called the police dispatch or 911. 2 people were in proximity to the gunman in Edward Waters' parking lot, but he did not go after them, the sheriff said. cautioning against assumption that the university might have been the intended target. Still, the sheriff said it was clear that the gunman sought black victims. Most, but not all, of the customers he ushered out of the store were white. The sheriff said at the news conference in the interview. Sheriff Waters said the gunman did not shoot at one person inside the store who was also white. I know for a fact that he did not like black people, said Sheriff Waters, who is black. He made that very clear. Toward the end of the shooting, the gunman texted his father instructing him to use a screwdriver to get into his room, the sheriff said on the gunman's laptop. His family found a last will and testament and a suicide note as part of a roughly 27 pages of racist writing, Sheriff Waters said in the interview. The family then called the Clay County Sheriff's Office, though by the shooting had already taken place. A police car was parked outside the family home in Orange Park, Florida on Sunday. Residents of the quiet suburban neighborhood declined to speak about the family. Public records and newspaper articles suggest that the family moved to the area from Maryland in the 1980s. The Justice Department is investigating the attack as a hate crime and an act of racially motivated violent extremism. In March, the FBI released an analysis of hate crimes in 2021. The last year data was fully available, which said that hate crimes overall had increased by more than 11% since 2020. Jacksonville, a city of nearly 1 million people, where about 30% of the residents are black, has a long history of racism. Sunday marked the 63rd anniversary of the axe handle Saturday, when white supremacists severely beat a group of mostly black civil rights activists. Mayor Donna Deegan and other local officials plan to attend a commemorative ceremony in the afternoon before a vigil of the Dollar General shooting victims. Last year, on the morning of September 11, a neo-Nazi group with swastika flags and anti-Semitic banners on an Interstate 95 overpass, and earlier in 2020, homeowners in two neighborhoods found flyers with hate speech littering their driveways. Last October, an extremist group displayed semi-automatic messages around Jacksonville, including TIA Bankfield, ahead of the Florida-Georgia college football game. Other hateful messages appeared on Interstate 10 overpass and along another highway. We're still fighting the same fight, but some days it feels like we're going backwards. Ms. Deegan, a Democrat, said in an earlier vigil on Sunday morning. In May, Ms. Deegan became the first Democratic elected to lead Florida's largest city. Republican mayors had been in power for the last 30 years. Among her administrative appointments was a chief of diversity, equity, and inclusion, a $185,000 a year position that committee of Republican-held city council voted to defund on Thursday, citing budget concerns. Ms. Deegan blamed state politics under Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican running for president, who has enacted laws rolling back diversity and inclusion policy, and whose administration came under withering criticism for revising African-American history standards to say that enslaved Americans developed skills that could be applied for their personal benefit. Mr. DeSantis has scheduled a campaign in South Carolina on Monday. His campaign has not yet said if it plans to go. The morning vigil at St. Paul AME Church of Jacksonville was attended by at least 4 Edward Water University students. The choir sang Amazing Grace as some parishioners wiped away tears. We have 3 people who are dead because they are black. State Senator Tracy Davis, a Jacksonville Democrat, said shopping in our community gunned down because they were black. David Jameson, who has taught history at Edward Waters for 5 years, said the students he spoke to about the shooting were overwhelmed and still processing what happened. The rhetoric that's coming from the government is encouraging people in their negative and I believe racist beliefs. Dr. Jameson says we're going to continue to teach all history, all people's history. No one's going to stop them. No one's going to stop me. Adam Goldman, Tashia Morris, Nicholas Nahimus, and Glenn Thrush contributed reporting. Kitty Bennett contributed research. All right. Edward Waters is a very, very small, historically black school located in Jacksonville. I believe one of my great aunts actually graduated from that university back in the 60s as well, too, on my father's side, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, the government, a lot of this whole anti stuff that Florida's been pushing, and I'm not going to say that that's solely to blame, but it's found a home here. And as if Florida wasn't already racist enough, redneck enough, now we got a governor that sits up here and he helps the flame, the fuel, the flames, and everything else with the nonsense he's talking about. Like I said before in previous spaces, DeSantis has done everything he could to go ahead and try to switch around voting districts. He's trying to eliminate the black vote. He's trying to destroy a lot of the black power structure in this state. But I'm not going to solely put all of that on DeSantis, what happened at that Dollar General. This was a whacked out white supremacist that wanted to kill some niggas. Simple as that. He, like they said, from reading the article, from the reports everybody's talking about, he did everything he could to get white people up out of the store and to go ahead and try to go ahead and take advantage of some black folks in there. His whole mindset that morning that he woke up, because the dude already had his will and his testament and everything else, was to go kill some niggas. You know, let me go ahead and kill some niggas. And then in the most cowardly fashion, let me go ahead and pull the trigger on me, blow myself away. So I don't have to answer to this. I don't have to worry about any jail time. I don't have to worry about if I'm put up in Gen Pop, somebody getting a hold of me, which they would have done here in Florida. If they would have put him in Gen Pop, somebody would have got a hold to him. I doubt they would have put him up there. So he took the coward way out. He went ahead. He found some people that he could kill, carrying a weapon, AR-15, but he had handgun, everything else. And he went out to destroy people, to kill people. But if he could have killed 1,000 black people, he would have killed 1,000 black people. People that never did anything to this dude, he decided to go ahead and take it out on them. And I don't know why they said we're investigating this as a hate crime. It is a hate crime. It's nothing to investigate. It's a hate crime. Straight up. I mean, it's nothing to investigate. It's nothing to research, anything like that. You got this man's manifesto. You got everything that he was talking about. It's a hate crime. He was Baker Act. And they were saying because he was a minor and this and that, he was still able to legally get a gun. He still was able to obtain a gun. So, I mean, that Baker Act, that's something I think that for 2 or 3 days or 72 hours, you can have somebody confined. You know, they consider them to be possibly a threat to themselves or whatever. You can have them confined in one of these hospitals or whatever. But after 72 hours, you got to go ahead and you got to let them go as well, too. So this guy here was a danger to society. He was able to go ahead and get weapons. He was able to go out and travel freely in the world. And he was able to go ahead and kill black people. And now, and I'm surprised, you know, that he didn't go ahead on Edward Waters University and just open fire on them. We're starting to see a lot of extreme stuff happening also on these campuses as well, too, these college campuses. These HBCU campuses are going to have to be a little bit more alert as well, too, because you just don't know where the danger is coming from as well, too. So you're going to have to go ahead. I'm here in Florida. We got Florida Memorial. We got Bethune-Cookman. We got FAMU. We got Edward Waters. I mean, we're going to have to go ahead and get a little bit more alert. We're going to have to kind of start watching people a little bit more as they start coming up on these campuses as well, too. This here was premeditated. Just like the patron Gentry last year, this joker went up there to scout out that store, and he already had in his mind, he knew there was going to be a bunch of old people and women at that store and stuff like that, and he went ahead and he scouted out to see exactly. He wanted to know the landscape, he wanted to know everything about it, so he could get in and out and do his dirt. Same with this joker here. I would not be surprised later on if they come out and find out that hey, he had been actually for a while scouting out everything and stuff like that. And you know, so we're gonna have to get a little bit more alert on these HBCU campuses. We're gonna have to pay a little bit more attention. And I'm not talking about the students, I'm talking about the administration, I'm talking about the actual security that's on these campuses as well, too. Of course, the students, you're gonna have to look out for yourself and look out for each other as well, too. You know, now you see that the potential threat that's out there. And like I say, just by chance, nobody on Edward Waters got killed out there, you know. And, you know, had they been alerted as the people were at Edward Waters, maybe something like this would not have happened. But like I say, people going shopping, you going to the Dollar General. We know most of us have been to Dollar General, especially if you live here in the South. You've been to Dollar General. I'm here in Florida as well. You go in the Dollar General, you say, hey, let me go ahead and pick up a few things, odds and ends. I'm going to run back to the house or whatever. Last thing in the world you're thinking is that somebody's going to come in here with a damn AR-15 and blow your head off. That's just the last thing. I went to the Dollar General today, and you know, and that's what I'm saying. Even I got to be more alert. I went to the Dollar General, went to go pick up some stuff. We got a potential possible small tropical storm hurricane that may make landfall here by Wednesday or whatever. So, people trying to pick up odds and ends right now. You're trying to get water, you're trying to get batteries, you're trying to get, canned foods and stuff just in case you do potentially get hit by a hurricane or a tropical storm. And God forbid, as hot as the damn summer is, that you got to go a day or two without having any kind of power on. And, we hitting triple digits heat index all throughout this state as well, too. So, everybody's trying to, our minds are so many different places. And then you have this guy just come out of nowhere, come out of the woodwork, firing, killing people. And like I say, and then you got people like DeSantis and them helping to actual spread this vitriol as well, too. You got a foreigner like Vivek sitting up here comparing, and I'm no big Presley fan, comparing what's the name? Presley first name, comparing her to the damn Klansmen and stuff like that. Joker, your ass just got to this country a few damn years, and you sitting up here, you don't even know a damn thing about the Ku Klux Klan, and you comparing a black person to the Ku Klux Klan, and your ass just got to America yesterday. So you're the last person to need to sit up here and give us a history lesson on damn complete racism and white supremacy, and you just got to the country. Ray, go ahead. You got to unmute your mic. You there, Ray?
Hey, family. Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of low, but I can hear you.
Yeah, man. So, definitely wanted to say something. Is that better? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better.
Yeah, so, growing up, I always hear my mother say, that
Hey, drop me. I can't hear anything.
All right, DJ, I'm going to drop you. DJ say you can't hear anything, so go ahead, Ray.
No, I would always hear my mother would say, that racism, that's just something, that's just like the older generations. But as you can see, this guy here, he was only, I think he was 20 years old. So racism, it has nothing to do with, time. It has to do with the mindset. So that's just something that I really feel like we really have to take into consideration. We can't really ever be caught slipping. I'm always in this space, always talk about telling them to protect themselves, because it's sad that you can't even go to the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or whatever it was without someone potentially trying to kill you. So that's all I wanted to say, man. We need everybody to protect themselves, because in this nation, everything that has this type of value, they protect the damn guns. They protect the president with guns, the Congress protected with guns. Any bank you go to, they got armed security there to make sure you don't get in and get the money. But for whatever reason, when it comes to our children and these schools, all of a sudden they just want to leave them vulnerable and hope for the best. And that makes no sense to me.
All right, thank you, Ray. You're right about that. And you are an avid believer of being able to protect yourself. Your rights to bear arms in this country. We definitely got to go ahead and start doing that. So you're definitely right on that situation. Like I said, I was just at the damn Dollar General today myself. So I mean, think about it. I'm in Florida. I'm at the Dollar General. I'm going in and out just to get something real quick or whatever. Get back to the house. That could have easily been any of us up in here. Like I said, and I go somewhat regular to it. I'm not gonna say I go every day, but I'm going at least once every 2 weeks or something like that. I go to the Dollar General, swing by, get stuff. If certain things are cheaper in terms of paper products and stuff like that, toilet paper, tissue, things of that nature. So, I'm going there, I'm getting things instead of going to the regular grocery store, because you may save a few cents here and there. But you know what I'm saying? These people, nobody expected that, man. Nobody expected that. And this is becoming a norm here. Like I said, this is not even a year to another racially motivated mass shooting. You can go back a few years ago, and you had Dylan Roof at the church in South Carolina. And then think about it. When you're seeing these racially motivated mass shootings, how often do you see people say, well, I went out there and I shot somebody because they was Latino? Like, you don't see people. It seems like it's now targeting black people more. So people aren't just going out there. And I know you did back in, I think, 2015 or 16, you had that shooting in Florida too, at that gay club. I think it was Pulse, and the dude came there to shoot people. He went shooting at a gay club or whatever, and So you did have that instinct, but a lot of times it seems like they're actually targeting black people with these mass shootings and stuff. You got people coming out. You don't hear people saying, "Well, I had a mass shooting and I wanted to kill a bunch of Asians or Latinos or white folks or this and that." Like these people leaving these manifestos and they say, "Hey, I want to go ahead and I want to kill these black people. I want to go ahead and I want to murder the people that have the least amount of power in the country. Like they have the least amount of finances, they have the least political power." They have the least of anything, but let me go ahead and kill them because, in my warped out mind, they're the biggest threat there is. No other group, but let me go ahead and go after them. The people that have the least amount, the people, when you look at the actual wealth of Black Americans, the least amount of money. When you look at in terms of politics, politically, even though we vote, we're one of the groups that have for what we actually vote for, we really don't get anything in return for it. So out of all of the people in this country, let's go after the most powerless people, because in my mind, these people here are the one that's really keeping me down. This powerless group of people are the ones that's really keeping me from actually. And this is the same mindset you have a lot of folks in this country when they start talking about, when you got to listen to people, when they start talking about affirmative action and quotas and all this other stuff, and how you start hearing the vitriol. Oh, you're the reason why I couldn't get in the Ivy League. You're the reason why I got denied because I had better grades in this. Always something you can hear that little ting in their voice. If it had not been for you, I would have been able to go to the college I wanted. I was better qualified for this job, but because of you, I couldn't get it. This same kind of craziness and madness and stuff like that is producing some of these same bastards going out here shooting people and murdering people, mass shooting them. The same kind of nonsense that these people are talking about. You have to be careful of that stuff like that. Yeah, it starts talking about policy first. And then when people don't really had enough, then they got to go out there and they got to go ahead and push the button. They're like, well, this ain't working fast enough. The political system ain't working for me. I can't get what I want to get, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what I got to do in this and that. And this is the kind of nonsense and this is kind of madness that happens like that. The same kind of nonsense. People think that when people talking about politics and stuff like that, that's the only arena it stays in. No, this dude done heard this kind of stuff his whole life. When you start having people whacked out like this, that go out and just start murdering people and want to blame an entire race, you want to sit up here and blame an entire race of Black people on your failure or why you can't be anything in life. And I'm sure his manifesto, when they break it down, it's going to be the whole blame game of what Black people did to him, how Black people kept him down, how Black people stopped him from progressing. It's going to be all about Black people and what Black people did to me, yada, 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 woe is me. Trouble, what's going on? I see you up here tonight. What's going on? You got it, Trouble. Go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing?
Hey, brother. How you doing? Shout out to the room, everybody up in here, Black family and others. It boils down to accountability. And America has never taken accountability for their homegrown white supremacist terrorists. And it's past time that they start calling a thing a thing. I posted about that earlier. We've seen these incidents one too many times over the year. We've seen it way too often for them to not call a thing a thing. These are homegrown terrorists. That's exactly what they are. They're no different than the Middle Easterns that they're quick to label as terrorists. When they throw a strap on them and do a suicide bomb, it's the same It's the same thing. If you're writing swastikas and racial epithets or whatever on your weapons, and then you go out and commit a murder to that racial group with that weapon, that's the same as strapping a bomb on yourself, and then you have the audacity to write a suicide note when you a suicide bomber, you a suicide killer then. So if you will call a Middle Eastern man a terrorist because of those same things, then that's the same thing that this man just did. That's the same thing a lot of them do. Whether they kill themselves or whether it's death by cop. You intended to kill yourself. You didn't intend to make it back because you made a manifesto. You created a will. You created a suicide note or a goodbye letter or whatever to your people. So that meant you intentionally went out and did what it was that you do. But because America does not want to call their own people the same thing, same label that they give to others, it's a problem. We don't have a hate crime bill, and they're still like, well, it's what's a one-off incident. Well, how many goddamn one-off incidents do we have to have before y'all call a thing a damn thing? So that's really what we need to be fighting for and arguing the point on, rather than all of these random ass spaces I thought we was through with when it comes to what name we supposed to be damn called. See, I'm sick of hearing about what name are we calling this group going after this group when we got one group in goddamn particular along with their little minions that they place in positions to go after us in this manner that we need to be collectively fighting against. But we more intent on fighting each other over a goddamn name. And it's really frustrating looking at all of this, and it's like, when we gonna get it? When are we gonna get it? I go to Family Dollars down the street from my house every damn day. Been robbed inside. Well, done been robbed while I was inside. It was one of us. But hell, I've been more comfortable with that than going shopping on the other side of town. Because I know when we come inside the store, we just want the money and the shit and we gone. We ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to do none of that extra shit unless you trying to play hero or some shit like that. I don't even shop on the other side of town for that one particular bill. Hell, I was gonna, when I decided to go to school, I was gonna go to school in the state, in the area that I was in. And when I went and sat in the office that day, getting the paperwork together, waiting on the VA counselor to come up, I made the decision right then to go online and not to even go inside the building to go to school. Why? Because you had a couple of white boys that came inside the office and sat down and went to bubbling and acting crazy and all kind of foolishness. And I said, not today. No, you look like it used to be a time where you see black people walk across the street or roll up and white people would lock their doors and walk across the street. Hell, now I do that shit when I'm in their presence. That's just how bad it's gotten with them. They just blatant with their shit now. So the fear is real. So yeah, when I see you, I'm walking across the damn street, I'm clutching my damn purse too because you getting ready to do some shit. You look like you about to do some shit you ain't got no business doing. I give them the same damn treatment. But it's weird that, we don't have any protections on our side, but when we retaliate, now all of a sudden we don't have the same rights as you. We don't have the same rights as you now. So it's other things that we need to be fighting about. These are homegrown terrorists. And they need to start calling a thing, because that's exactly what they are. You're writing manifestos, you're writing suicide note, and then the whole fact that every time it goes down, you want to dig back and say, oh, this person was marked as, an unstable individual. This motherfucker has some mental issues. Well, goddamn it, I got some mental issues too. Can I murk you? Can I murk 3 of your family peoples and get away with it on some old mental instability shit? Because I'm about mental right now, my damn self. I'm ready to go postal on a lot of you motherfuckers. But can I get away with it though? Will you dig down into my records where I done told the doctor that, I wasn't feeling quite mentally stable today. It might be the day. So it feels kind of planned. It's starting to feel like maybe we just gonna get a couple of these people who willing to off themselves go into the doctor's office and say you suicidal. So next year you mentally unstable. So next year when you go off and kill a bunch of Negroes inside of the store, the first thing that the news pop up is, oh well, he was in in a mental institution for 3 days because of A, B, and C. Hell, anybody can fake it. I know a lot of people who fake being crazy. They get the damn check. Put some alka-seltzer in your mouth and start foaming at the mouth and shit. So you can get the check. There's plenty of unstable people around this world that's just saying they are, but you ain't that damn crazy. You wasn't that damn crazy. You knew who the damn target. Your ass wasn't crazy, But when are we gonna start playing crazy on their ass? I'm ready to play crazy too. So I'm just a little frustrated and a little irritated because it seems like it don't matter where we turn around, it's always something that's coming directly at us. And it's almost like you can smell it coming. It's like we'll have about 5 minutes where everything seems cool. It's the calm before the storm, and then here it goes popping off. And then here goes the media with their foolishness. Oh, well, he was in a mental, 3 years ago. Okay, well, after them 3 years, why was he allowed to go out and buy an AR-15? How come y'all wasn't doing the same checks on your people that you do on us when we step into a spot? So I'm a little bit tired and I'm frustrated. I apologize for, my tone, because my tone is, very weaponish tonight. but it's extremely frustrating. I'll land right there.
Thank you, Trouble. And you hit the nail on the head right there when you were saying, when you were talking about whatever name we call us. But listen, it doesn't matter what name you call yourself. You know, whatever name you want to go by, that's fine. At the same time, um, when somebody wants to go out there and kill somebody, you know, they're not saying, "Hey, I'm going to kill a freedman or a Negro or a FBA." They say, "I'm going out here and I'm going to kill me a nigga," and that's the whole thing. You know, no matter what you call yourself, at the end of the day, there are people that look at you and say, "You just black and you just a nigga, and I'm gonna put a bullet in you." So, you know, I don't care what any one of my people want to call themselves. Here's the thing that, like Trouble saying, we have so much bigger fish to fry. You know, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you feel comfortable, by all means, go ahead and do that. But at the same day, understand this: whatever you call yourself, or whatever this person in the corner might call themselves, you're gonna all face the exact same situation in this country. So, you know, you have to go ahead and you have to look at the bigger picture, guys. And somebody posted, I think it was Carlos posted this. Let me see what real quick. I want to read this comment. Carlos said Tariq Nasheed just posted that, and I guess he's talking about this dude's brother. That his brother has on his Twitter page a bunch of racist talk. These are not lone wolves that bred. So apparently, Ryan's brother has a bunch of stuff that he's saying that Tariq posted that, you know, that he's got all kind of racist stuff on his actual Twitter page as well too. So you had one Lord said the same thing happened at the top supermarket upstate of New York, of course, Buffalo last year. We got Lady Bird. She's saying this community in Jacksonville was elderly. Not surprising because a lot of these peckerheads go ahead and they look for a bunch of women or elderly people to go ahead and attack. She's saying the students on campus are afraid. She's talking about the students at Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, and I can imagine that they are afraid. You know, after. And Lady Bird says she's here in Jacksonville as well too. So shout out to you, Lady Bird. Sister, I'm up in Florida as well myself. Whenever you want to speak, I know you came up to speak as well too. Whenever you want to say something, go ahead and raise your hand because it'd definitely be good to have somebody that's actually in the city that could actually, like, you know, just give us the actual temperature of the city and how everybody's feeling right now. Because I know it's got to be, you know, I know it's got to be crazy. I know it's just got to be crazy up there. So shout out to you, sister, for, you know, letting us know about that. And I don't blame the college students. I'm sure they got to be shook. You know, you got to be shook. That's only human. So shout out to you for coming up here as well too. And it would not surprise me one bit. And from what Carlos said, that this dude Ryan Palmetto, whatever his name is, that his brother had a bunch of racist stuff up on his Twitter page. It's funny, it's ironic too that you can have all this racist stuff on Twitter on some of these pages. You can have all these posts calling black people nigger this, nigger that, and everything else. Whenever a black person snaps, then they end up getting suspended and getting their account banned and everything else for saying anything. Hell, you can't even put in the title. Somebody can't even tweet Negro out there. It's funny, you can't tweet Negro, but you could tweet nigga all day. And I mean that's just crazy right there. All of the stuff that these people be, I've seen spaces where people up here talk about nigga this, nigga that, and these spaces go on, nobody bans them or whatever. You say one thing and then you getting suspended. You can't use your account for a week and all kind of stuff like that. It's just amazing the double standard on this app. Ray, go ahead, you got it.
So just so everyone knows, I posted what Tariq said up in the Jumbotron. So if anyone wants to see all the vile stuff he was saying about black people, he was saying we're talking about Rihanna and how she like chains and whips and admitting he's racist and saying I'm gonna call black people the N-word. So if anyone wants to read those tweets, I posted them up in the Jumbotron. But Sister Trouble said something I wanted to just talk about a little bit more. She talked about the symbols. So there's a lot of symbols that we really need to pay attention. So I give you an example of something that literally happened in my personal life. So I had a guy I went to school with, right? His name was Trustin. Any of y'all that follow me on Facebook, you can see him, dude named Trustin. He's passed away now. But Trustin, dude was very, very sickly. Like always, ever since we graduated high school, he was very sickly, in and out of the hospital, whatever he had, right? And one picture he took, he posted on Facebook of him laying up in the hospital, his hair looking all crazy, right? But he had those SS bows, which if y'all know history, you know, that's associated with, you know, Nazism and shit. So while all my other, friends up in school with my family, and, even my family was like, hey, trust me, get better, blah, blah, blah. I called him out. I said, "Yo, what the fuck, bro? You a white supremacist? What's going on? What's up with these SS folks you got on?" And as soon as I said that, the post got taken down. And I wish I would have taken a screenshot of it, but I just wasn't thinking at the time. But you have to watch out for those symbols, family. I just want to make sure everyone is very, very well aware of them. Those SS votes, those are hate symbols. If you see someone that has the tattoo on them and it has the number 88, that's also a hate symbol. The 8 stands for, HH. HH, like Hilo, because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, and that stands for Hail Hitler. It's all these little symbols and things that they keep on themselves. Like there was this white supremacist. His name was Ben Classic. He actually wrote some books, right? So he has a book called "This Planet Is All Ours." If any of y'all want to look into it, Ben Classic is KLASSAN. The reason why you have to read stuff like this because if you understand how these people think, you'll know how to prepare yourself. He wrote that book that I just told you about. He wrote another book called what's the name of that book? On the Brink of a Bloody Racial War. That's one of his books. He also has a book called The White Man's Bible. And when he died, they actually have a memorial park that you can look it up. It's called the Ben Classic Memorial Park. So even in death, this dude is still very well respected among certain white groups or whatever. So I just wanted to make the family know about that. Please keep your eyes on the symbols.
Thank you, Ray. And my man Reps, he said over here on YouTube, and I second that. Reps, may this peckerhead rest in piss here. May that be his final destination, to rest in piss. We go ahead and kick it to Lady Bird. Lady Bird, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening. You can hear me good. I want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you fine. How you doing?
I'm good. So yeah, I am here in Jacksonville, and I guess now I'm a little more angered than anything. As more and more details come out, the anger surfaces, but there's still that sadness and that heaviness that is here. Is very heavy because again, this is a community. That area where that Dollar General is all elderly. Literally at the red light by the Dollar General is a senior citizen apartment complex. There is no major grocery store in that neighborhood. So all of the people in that neighborhood use that Dollar General for their shopping. Like somebody was saying, they might go to Dollar General every day. These people go to this store every single day for their needs. If they can't get to a super Walmart or a major grocery store, this is where they're going. And so it's just sad that this happened. And then to really give context to like this man and how he literally had, like, even though they're telling us, yes, he planned this. But let me tell you, he knew where to go. He knew, because if you know anything about Jacksonville, Florida, I know you're in the state of Florida, just not here. There are neighborhoods in Jacksonville that have a high crime rate. This man had to come from Orange Park, Florida, and go through the west side of Jacksonville, which is one of the highest crime areas in the city. He didn't stop there. He knew not to stop there. He passed there and came all the way into a community where he knew that there was going to be no one that was going to give him any backfire. He knew it. These elderly people, yes, we are telling people they need to be in arms. They need to know how to use weapons and have themselves armed. But a lot of these elderly people, they're not going to do that, especially if they don't feel comfortable, whatever their thought process is. So he kind of knew, okay, if I go over here, this is where I'm going to go. And I do believe he was going to probably try to target the college first. But again, it's a Saturday. Nothing's happening at a college on a Saturday, really. But the video, because there's a video that surfaces showing him at the college. That video is a real video of him behind the library of the college before he went to the Dollar General. And it's so crazy that he was able to even leave that spot to go there. Like, he shouldn't even been over here, but just the fact that he was able to leave that spot, because he was in a way, he was smart enough to not bring any suspicion to himself in that moment. But by the time that video got put on TikTok and people got called about suspicious activity, it was too late. It was too late. Like, my phone was blowing up because people know my mom goes to this Dollar General for dog food. The only reason my mom was not in the Dollar General at that moment because she was going to get dog food yesterday was because I needed her to come and help me do something at my home. And I said, well, I'll take you to Walmart and get the dog food. Or she would have probably been up there around that time. And then now, my biggest thing is, I think a lot of people in our community right now are really, especially with a lot of the councilmen and the different ones that are over these districts in our city, the biggest thing right now is we are trying to make sure people understand this was 100% hate crime. This ain't got nothing to do with no guns. This ain't got nothing to do with politics. This was a straight up white man who said he wanted to kill some niggas. That's simply what it was. It ain't nothing. Like, they're gonna try to paint a narrative for whoever's agenda. But I'm not going to shut up about it. Other people are not going to shut up about it and make sure that it's understood. This was a pure hate crime. Like the guy's brother. This is a Facebook post from this guy's brother saying how he is a racist. Like, I'm looking at this like, what? Like, what? And trust and believe, Clay County, where this man is from, is 100% racist. I don't even want to begin to explain how many freaking slaves are probably buried under the ground, under them people's houses. Okay?
What cities in Clay County too, sister? I'm trying to.
Clay County is Green Coast Springs and Orange Park, Florida.
Okay, all right.
They're little towns. Like, you drive through them probably in less than like.
Because I'm not far from. I'm in Tallahassee, so.
Yeah, so they're more like southwest of Jacksonville, and so it's just a little redneck town. Like, one thing about it, we know. I remember being a teenager having my first car for the first time and driving in Orange Park and almost got ran off the road by some rednecks in a pickup truck with shotguns, leaving the county fair. So this is a place where most people who live here, born and raised here, know. Don't go out there at nighttime. You know how they talk about them sundown cities? No, that's a place you don't want to be at nighttime. You don't know your way around. And that's just how it is. Like I think you were saying earlier, like, literally today is the anniversary date of 63 years ago when they had Axe Handle Saturday, when they were doing a sit-in downtown, and people came in and were beating them with axe handles. Some of those people are actually still alive right now who went through that. And then yesterday was actually the 5th year anniversary of the mass shooting that happened at the Jacksonville Landing for the Madden tournament when the 2 young men got killed.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that happened 5 years ago on yesterday. So
Wasn't didn't that have something to do with race as well too?
It did. The guy was mad that he got beat by some black people. He got beat by some black people on a video game. Yes. And see, the thing is now, Jacksonville, like, a lot of people don't know, Jacksonville has a long history of hate. We got a freaking plantation in this right here in Jacksonville. You could go right here, right now, and visit the whole plantation.
Isn't it named after Andrew Jackson too?
No, the plantation is the Kingsley Plantation.
No, I was saying Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville, yeah. Supposedly, he came with his little mark or whatever, took the land from the Timaquan Indians. Yeah, it's a whole story. But a lot of people don't look at that. Like, they've changed names of schools. There's some schools here. We had Robert E. Lee High School. They've changed the name of that. It was another school, Nathan B. Forrest. you know, that was the school they got the name changed to. So, and they've gotten the monument.
And Nathan B was wasn't he the founder of the Klan?
What you say. Exactly. So it's a lot of stuff that when stuff like this happen, yeah, these people gonna pop up. The Santa ain't just come to the city tonight for a vigil. He came for an agenda. He ain't come for nothing else. He ain't come for nothing else but for an agenda. But luckily, the people that we have elected in our districts, they not going for that. That's not happening. So I just wanted to put that out there and just say that, because a lot of people don't really, like, if you're on the outside looking in, you might be like, okay, yeah, this is another, shooting that's gonna happen, and this. Nah, it's way deeper than that when it comes to your parents probably feel the same way. And I'm basing that just off of the fact that they are in Clay County. I don't care if they came from Maryland or wherever it said they came from. You don't just move to freaking Clay County without researching the area you're moving to. They knew where they were moving. So, I mean, hey, I wouldn't put it past the parents at this point. But I'm going to just leave it at that. Yeah, but I'm, like I said, now I'm at a point of just being angry because, like, this is just crazy. One of those young men that were killed was a 29-year-old dad, a 52-year-old mom, and a 19-year-old. Like, come on, they ain't did nothing but when the 29-year-old was even in the store with his girlfriend. That girl got to live through the fact that she was in there when that happened to him. And you got a person who actually got shot and didn't die who has to live with that. You got kids at this college who, we were in a space earlier, and Rockland Johnson, who's one of the elected officials here, he was saying how he's a professor at EW, and he was getting a text message from the students saying how they were afraid. They didn't even want to leave their dorms. They were that afraid. It's crazy. We got to do better. Like everybody's saying, man, listen, it ain't no time to be around here scared, tucking your tail between your legs. It's time to do some real stuff. You know what word I was going to say. It's time to do some real stuff. It really is. But I appreciate you for allowing me to speak.
Anytime, sister, anytime. And like I say, I definitely know I'm up in the panhandle with you as well, too. We know how these rednecks are. And we in the panhandle, people forget that. When they think about Florida, they think about all of the influx of immigrants and stuff like that. But the panhandle is like the last stronghold. Where, it's not immigrant ran, and this is where the good old boys really, really run it at. In terms of policy, government, and everything else, they control the panhandle. And even though these areas are smaller compared, now Jacksonville is a true metropolitan area. Jacksonville is no joke. Jacksonville, is a true metropolitan area, like a Miami, a Tampa, those type areas as well too. But the actual laws and everything that come here, and Tallahassee, and how they control it with the buddy system that they got in place and stuff like that. So I definitely feel you. I definitely know what you're talking about. My heart goes out to the students. I can't blame them for being, fearful, because, they were lucky that nothing happened to them. And I'm so glad that nothing happened to your mother as well too, sister. So we definitely glad that your mom was able to go there and be safe as well too. So just definitely keep us informed of what's going on in Jacksonville as well too. You want to come back up and speak during the space, by all means, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get you back up here as well too. And shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Real quick, guys, I want to say tomorrow night we got an important space that's going on, and I got that in the Jumbotron on the left-hand side. We're going to be talking about the New York reparations bill. We're also going to be talking about this group up here, a bunch of black people. They decided to go ahead and put this this hashtag, and not even a hashtag, but that's their group, talking about niggas for Trump. So we're going to be talking about we're gonna be talking about niggas for Trump, and we're gonna be talking about the New York reparations bill as well too, guys. So definitely join us tomorrow night as well too. DJ, I think you got to mute your mic. Hey DJ, is that DJ? Oh, Ray is Ray or DJ?
That's Miss D.
Oh,
Over there. What about that mac and cheese on Sunday? Come on, man.
Miss D, go ahead and unmute you.
It's not me.
Oh, okay, Miss D.
No, it's not. It wasn't me. My mic was still off.
That wasn't me.
Bro, I just agree with you on the polls. I got you.
Go ahead, Miss D. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I just wanted to ask her. I just saw a video of somebody was trying to check Ron DeSantis at the press conference, and of course they had one of us grab the mic from him and start checking whoever that was in the audience trying to check Ron DeSantis, talking about this is not about no politics. This is not about. She said this is not about politics. This is not about no party. This is about a bullet. And I said they always got to have one of us somewhere call themselves trying to check somebody behind knowing that this is what he did. He the one made it a hostile environment for Black people to be in Florida. So that just raged me right quick when I saw that. And the young lady is right, because we were talking about this morning about how they was going to try to start making this about guns. And I saw a video with the police chief saying this has nothing to do with guns. This has something to do with hate crime. I just saw a video of him making a statement about that. They already started trying to make it be about guns. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Miss D. Thank you. Lady Bird, I think she dropped back down to listener. But you're right about that. And Trouble was right about that. You know, now they want to go ahead and talk about guns this, guns that, or whatever. This didn't have anything to do with guns. Those guns and just marched themselves up into that store and just started pointing at people and started shooting it. It was a white supremacist that went ahead with the guns, and he went in there and he started killing people. That's what it was. So people always want to blame the guns for it. It was the actual white supremacist that went up and started pointing at people, had in his mind that he was going to kill them some nigga today. That's who it was. Even the right will try to spin this and make this into about protecting the Second Right Amendment and all this other stuff like that, and all this other stuff, when it's clearly about one thing. It's about actually Black people. Whenever it's about Black people, we got to go ahead and we got to go ahead and try to change the topic and change the subject as much as possible, whatever. This is now when Black people need to go ahead and once again got to start drumming up that actual start trying to get that make Black people a protected class. You know, that's you got to go ahead and start trying to do this as well too. Start to drum up about making Black folks a protected class again, because this is kind of stuff that's going to happen. And that's not saying that you've been a protected class is going to stop this right here. Because like you say, Ray, you do have to be on your P's and Q's, and you're going to have to start keeping that thing on you as well, too. So, you know, that's not going to stop this from happening, but we damn sure need to go ahead and start trying to drum up that protected class status again, once again.
So
go ahead, Lady Bird.
Miss D, I've been getting my kids ready for school tomorrow, so I have been catching up. But was the young lady, did she have like locks in her hair? I'm just asking because I got a feeling I know what you're talking about without even seeing it yet. Because I know somebody sent me a picture of one of the representatives, Angie Nixon, and she was like standing next to him at the podium. Now I looked at it, I was like, oh boy, you go Angie.
You there, Miss D?
She had some blonde hair looking like Florida Evans. She had a low haircut and she had blonde hair. She like snatched the mic and like, no, we're not gonna do this. Don't let me get started. This is not about politics. This is not about politics. This is not about a party. Because somebody was calling him out in the audience. Yes, she had blonde hair.
Blonde hair and some big glasses.
I can check the video. I didn't really.
That sounds like Jacoby Pittman, if that's the same one. If she had like a honey blonde hair, yeah, she's a rep. Also, she's a representative in one of the districts, and that's actually her district. But that's the thing that I'm saying. I mean, I understand a lot of people not going to get it because they're not directly here. But the fact of the matter is, like, don't come into the city using it as a campaign motive. Like, this was not nothing to have like, this ain't got nothing to do with your politics. It ain't got nothing to do with your gun reform, whatever. It got something simply to do with a racist person who decided his motive was Black people. So, that kudos, because no, don't come here doing it. It's bad enough he does not like the Black people that are elected into the city already. He don't like them.
You can't hear what the person's saying. So you can't hear what the person is saying. So I don't know what the person said. But she was just like, this is not about a party. Because I'm taking that somebody was calling Ron DeSantis out because he was about to get ready to speak.
Well, look, his motive is always very clear. Ain't no anybody who listens to Ron DeSantis, his motive is clear no matter where he goes, especially in the state of Florida. He don't even want the kids to learn Black history. We gotta teach our own kids Black history.
Right, that's why I'm thinking that whoever it was calling him out for his racism, and then that's when she said, it's not about no politics, this not about no, she said this is not about no party. But so I'm just thinking they must have been calling him out.
Oh, I'm gonna go look and see. I'm gonna go look for that. If you find it,
because you can't
find it on Twitter, can you put it in the comments?
Well, I saw it on Instagram.
Okay, I'm gonna go look for it. I'm pretty good.
And then I saw another post that they had them started trying to make it about a gun thing, and the chief or whoever that was the sheriff or whoever that was that did the press conference yesterday. Stood up and said, he stood up and said, this is not about guns and don't start this gun stuff. I saw that on Instagram too. I saw that press conference.
Oh yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody here is trying to make it perfectly clear. It was about a racist ban. Like, because we already know that people are going to try to spin a narrative and try to say, oh, let's talk about guns. Let's talk about the politics and what DeSantis is doing. I give two shits about what DeSantis is doing. I'm worrying about these people in this community. I'm worrying about my kids. I'm worrying about my parents and everybody else. I ain't worrying about what their political agenda is. The fact of the matter is, this man came into a community with an agenda to kill some Black people, and I'm not going to stand for that, and most of the people here are not going to stand for that. Like, we can't. There's been enough Black people getting killed for nothing. For nothing. I'm somebody who is terrified of guns, but guess what? I'm going to learn how to use one. I sure am. Because at this point, like, you cannot know how to use one at this point. For your own safety, which is crazy. Can't even leave your doors unlocked in your neighborhoods and stuff. Can't even go into a store and shop. Can't ride in your car doing nothing wrong without getting pulled over because you look suspicious. Like, this shit is getting crazy and ridiculous. And I'm going to mute because I'm getting a little angry. Thank you.
No problem, sweetie. I understand. We definitely understand. We feel you. I mean, you got every right to get upset, and you up in the actual city as well, too. So, and like you said, I feel you. That same store where that happened at, your mom attends it as well, too. So definitely, we feel you. Definitely feel your pain, feel your anger. So you don't have anything to apologize about. I see my boy, my man Original was up here, but he dropped down. Where Original, I don't see you. But when you get a chance, Original, definitely come back up here because I know Original got something good to say as well too. So love hearing from what Original got to say. Choke, I see you came up here. You want to comment on something?
Hey, what's up, man? I put that. I think that's the video that y'all talking about. I put it in the jumbotron. I think Miss D was talking about it.
Oh, okay. About the woman that tried to cut him off and stuff with DeSantis was up there.
Well, I I think that's her. Unless she got honey blonde dreads, I could be wrong, but I mean, it's a lot of videos of of Jacksonville, heckling him and bumping at him or whatever. But yeah, man, this is unfortunate. What happened down there. It's so crazy, man. We were just having this conversation. Um, I was in a space, and when I left out of that space, no sooner did I leave out of that space talking about the exact same thing, the possibility of it happening. And you scroll down the Twitter feed, and that's what's happening. In real time, and it can't be discounted what type of time these white people are on. And I'll say this right here, man, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. But when you talk about politics and racism in this country, and when you talk about organizing and organizations, one thing that these white people have been able to do throughout history is organize. They put the differences to the side. They once they figure out who their enemy is, they'll come together no matter what to squash it. And for us to combat that, we got to do the same thing. We have to be able to put the small potatoes to the side and look at the bigger picture and what's for the good of everybody, every single body. Not this Twitter hashtag banging bullshit. Not who wants to be the next great orator. The great next black speaker. All that type of stuff. That's only gonna get you so far. If you're talking about being black and getting into politics, it's honestly about your network. Like your network, man. If you're a grassroots, if you're gonna build that network, man, you gotta really align yourself with the right people. You gotta have a cabinet inside of a cabinet, if you know what I mean. That's it.
Absolutely, bro. You're right. I definitely agree 100% what you're saying. We got to go ahead and we got to start networking and we got to start working together as well too. And that's just not on social media either. That's on the actual. That's outside of social media as well too. For those that want to be out front and center and lead or whatever, nothing wrong with that. If that's your personality and that's what you want to do. Me, I have no problem sitting in the background and managing and everything else like that. That's why I prefer to go ahead and do my work anyway. So, for those that want to be front and center and stuff like that, more power to you. For those that want to sit in the background and, create think tanks and try to do things from that perspective, I myself, I kind of welcome it that way personally. But, that's just me. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So, much respect as long as we can go ahead and get things moving. And like you say, some of the stuff we just got to go ahead and put to the back burner if we're really trying to actually create and do something like that. People don't understand that America itself was a nation. Everybody talk about America, but America, you had a bunch of people in this country, especially these Europeans that were fighting for thousands of years, killing each other, even over here when they came, start selling, killing each other and stuff like that. And finally, after a while, I was able to go ahead and put their differences aside. We got to be the same way as well, too, man, because, we're behind. We're behind on so many different things for the way that this country was founded. We need to go ahead and for those of us that can work together, we need to seriously go ahead and do that. If you can't work with somebody and it's always an issue, then leave that person alone and try to go ahead and hook up with somebody that you can actually have a real working relationship with and can actually do something. So I'm with you on that, Choke. Let me go ahead, Original. I see you came back up here. Shout out, I see my girl Mel down there in the listener section as well too. So shout out to the real Mel Cruz as well. Original, how you doing tonight? You got it. Go ahead. I see my girl Rerun in the building as well too. Tweety, what's up? I see you up in here as well too. So shout out to you as well. You got it, Original.
All right. Peace, Black Power, reparation. People talk about me because I stick with my little issue. I'm saying that, especially since they said they found information about the brother had all kind of racist stuff on his page, and what sister shared with us about how normally people research where they move. I think the whole damn family is racist, And this is why I will continue to say there are no good white people in this universe. And if there's another universe adjacent to this one, and if there are white people there, they're not any good either. And anybody can take issue with that. I don't care. That's your issue. It's not mine. But I'm gonna go with what I know. But I remember it was like about maybe a year or so ago. I went to Home Depot. Now it was well, he wasn't white. I call him white looking. And this guy was trying to ask me. He had an accent, trying to ask me something, and tried to motion for me to come over to his vehicle. The vehicle had tinted windows. The back window was just jet black. I'm like, well, I just said, well, you have to go over there. I kept walking. I don't approach these people, whether they be white or white looking. And when I say white looking, I'm talking Arabs, Asians, Spanish speaking, whatever you want to call them. I don't approach these people. I don't engage in conversation when I'm out shopping. How some people try to engage. Nope, I just act like I don't hear them and keep it moving, because I don't feel that they have the best interest of black people in mind. But what's interesting though, and what I think that we may have to do is that because we're gonna have to start pushing these elected officials. Because the people that I've seen on TV, no one has said anything about a hate crime bill for black people. And I think people need to put egos aside, and those of us who know of different spaces on social media, I think it's time for us to come together as a group. Leave your ego. I don't care where you leave your ego, but leave it somewhere. That if we organize and just started calling the Black Caucus office and calling all these other people and letting them know that, look, you better start pushing for a hate crime bill for us. Because if not, your ass is not going back into that seat in the next election cycle. And see, this is the prime time for that, because they all want to get elected. You know, especially Jim Crow Joe. If he ain't talking a hate crime bill for, and don't think you're going to put people of color and minority, no, this is going to have to be for black Americans, period. That's it. We're not adding anybody else to it. There is no minority. And I think if we could come together, because there are people who have Twitter spaces and other spaces, and if we could just formulate ourselves to come together, I don't care where you leave your ego, but we can begin to strategize and begin to contact these people, and we may even have to form some type of a delegation that can go to DC and begin to push some of these people, because they're going to have to be pushed, you know, because I tell you, and these people, I mean, like I said, these people are just evil. My niece, she went to this something called Anytown. This was I was in California, but she was still I think she might have been in high school, and she was all excited. She was telling about how it's just like no racism, whatever it was. And I told her, I said, baby, don't you believe that? Because these people, they're not any good. And when she went to college, she was in college. Somehow they gave her a whole white roommate, and the girl kept trying to push her. And she called me and she was telling me, I said, look, I said, baby, tell me which floor you're on in your dorm. And she told me. I said, the next time she come at you, you tell her you're going to throw her ass out the window and see what she look like when she hit the ground. And when she told her that white girl straightened up, because she didn't want to go out that window. And my niece was stopping enough to throw her ass out of that window. And, you know, but those are sometimes things you have to do with these people, because they think they can do whatever they want when it comes to us. But my main issue, and also what I want to say too, Newstoter, you had mentioned that they was trying to get that the small hats in Florida were trying to get this anti-Semitic bill. Well, they've been doing the same thing here. See, it didn't pass here in Georgia, but there's been some like little stuff going on where, to me, it seemed like it's orchestrated. Where somebody went outside of this Jewish church and they did this and that and whatever, and they're saying that, oh, we need a hate crime. We need an anti-Semitic law. Well, let me share that. I've shared this with you all before. And this is why I said, people, we got to begin to push these damn folks. In the state of Georgia, the small hats, they are 1.2% of the entire demographic of Georgia. Black Americans, we are like over 30% of the demographic here in this state. So the small hats can't even vote themselves into office. And so part of it is that there's not enough people that's pushing and that's going to fight for us. This is insane. And I don't know. And then I see what some people. I saw a video of this. I'm not going to call him a brother. This black boy. He was saying that you're going to jack up America. He said, let's go out there and vote for Dumb Donald. I'm like, if Dumb Donald Dumb Donald just went out and said that he was happy that the affirmative action for schools was shot down. So you telling me to go out here and vote for this jacked up in the head fool? You have got to be out your mind. And see, it's crazy stuff like that goes down, and people think, well, I'll get you. Hell, this boy wants to suspend. Now, whatever happens, happens. But this boy wants to suspend the Constitution. Now, we already have it bad enough. And if this fool were to get in there and get enough people behind him to suspend the Constitution, what do you think will happen to us? But then we got it bad now. So, like I said, this whole family, they seem to be racist. I'm not going to say it any other way, and I think that people need to look at it that way. But I really do think that we need to start pushing these black elected officials to push for a hate crime bill. Don't put no minority. It ain't about minority. It ain't about people of color. It is about none of that. It is about black Americans. Now, I know there are other black folks here with black immigrants that are here, but from the attitudes that they've been having against us, you're on your own. Okay? I'm not going to waste my time trying to fight for it. You are on your own. But I do think we really need, if we could maybe come together of some sort with people, some of the people who have the biggest spaces on social media, and if we could organize and we can begin to push these people. Because I'll tell you, when the black community went after KBC in Los Angeles, I'll say this again, there was a core group that would meet, would discuss this, would strategize, and then come back to the community. That's why a lot of that in LA was so successful. And it can be done again. We just have to be willing to do it. So I just want to say that and say that, seeing, this black boy on this video saying, go out there and vote for Trump, and Trump ain't promised you a damn thing. And I know the other part, I'll save that for tomorrow because you got your space for tomorrow. But I do think where we can start, people, is pushing these people, because no one has said anything about a hate crime bill or any. All they said, well, my heart is broken. I'm so hurt. Well, no, damn that. We need protection. And like you said, Newstoter, that doesn't guarantee that. A protection bill doesn't, but it puts some sort of referential integrity around us to make sure we are somewhat protected. But I don't see any of these people trying to make sure that happens for us. But they want to take our vote and use our vote to represent every demographic except for us. So we're not even benefiting from our own vote. So I think we have a few things that we need to really go over, and since there is an election cycle coming up, and we need to bombard Jim Crow Joe, letting him know, okay, you said you had our back. You did nothing. The people in Buffalo was shot down. Now we got Jacksonville. but yet you said you had our back. Apparently what you have on our back is a target that anybody can come and do whatever they want to us, and all you're gonna do is just talk about. I don't want to hear about your damn prayers. I don't give a damn. I want protection over a damn prayer. A prayer don't mean a damn thing to me. I want protection for black people across this country. It is just not for me. It's for black people across this country. So I just want to say that and let people know that, look, this is our opportunity right now to really push. And if we can push really hard. And technically, it really wouldn't take that many people to push it. If we did it correctly, it ain't gonna take that many people. Because once it gets started, and see, this is part of the start right here. What we do in these Twitter spaces, this is organization. But all we gotta do now is just like strategize off the social media and then go for it. Because see, they never expected us to use social media in the manner in which it's being used, and that's what have them confused right now. It really does. So we just organize in such a way we can move this thing and make it work for us. And I'll land on that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Hey, guys, for those that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's up in the Jumbotron on the left-hand side. It's on the far left-hand side. So if you have not subscribed to the Newstoter YouTube channel, please go ahead while the space is going and subscribe to the YouTube channel. DJ, I want you to go ahead and hold it down for me for 1 second if you can. You there?
Yeah, I'm here, dog. Go ahead, handle the business.
Go ahead and keep the conversation flowing. I'll be right back.
So if anybody want to come up here, come on up on the calls.
I think Choke, Brother McCoo and Choke, I think they had their hands up. So
Right.
Ely, I see Ely, he's up here as well too, but you got it.
Right. Well, I got it, bro. You ain't got to worry about that. So just real quick, I'm going to just say this one thing real quick, tell y'all this little story that happened to me yesterday. So I'm going to New York, about to get, out here selling my DVDs, my CDs, my QR codes. The moment I got off the train, y'all know y'all been watching these videos of these Tether gang jokers, the Spanish ones specifically, like Original was saying, the Spanish people. I go around the corner as soon as I get off the train on 33rd Street, the PAD train, for those that understand New York and know what I'm talking about, in the tri-state area. The moment I came upstairs the moment I went upstairs, down from the train station and walked around the corner on, I think that was I was on 6, so that had to have been 6th and 33rd or whatever, walking around the corner from the mall. So wound up talking to this one guy, hey, I got the social newsletter to, support it for $1 or whatever. Next thing you know, me and this guy that I was talking to, black dude, help. We looking around, Tether gang hopped off the bike like you see it in these YouTube videos, tried to rob this gringo white boy and shit, but the Tether nigga ain't even had the strap drawn. I would have teed off and gave that nigga the tiger uppercut of his lifetime. You know what I'm saying? All that help. Like, ain't nobody coming to help you if you ain't trying to at least tee off yourself. I probably would have jumped in because we was only a call away from the nigga. You know what I'm saying? The white boy shit, you know what I'm saying? So this is the whole other argument of when you in inner cities, especially in these areas now that are being gentrified, our neighborhoods, a lot of these tellers, you know what I'm saying? Keep it real, because it's just what they are, illegal immigrants. Close the border, all this other stuff, Eminem gang, you know what it is. So I don't think they got anything from the white boy, but they hopped back on the bike and sped off. This is in Times Square, Manhattan, yep, right in the middle of it. But if you've been in Times Square lately, ain't nothing but homeless illegal immigrants laying around. You feel what I'm saying? And the homeless blacks that I walk past, I'm pretty sure you're Negroes by the names of the help signs they have on their little posters out there. I'm pretty sure most of them veterans too, by the way, you know what I'm saying? That's just the game that these jokers is playing with us up here. They erasing us out of here, they pushing us out. I had a sister, I ain't gonna say her name. She heard me talking to another brother. She was like, hey, what you talking about? Ran it down on the same thing we be talking about in these spaces. Our folks understand what's going on no matter where we at in the country, but like you said originally, yeah, we need to come together and make shit happen, but a lot of us just ain't gonna do nothing, bro. Just ain't gonna do anything, yo. And even the ones that do understand, they not gonna do anything. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3 out of every 100, 200, 300 people, one person. For every one of us here, 500 odd people ain't gonna do shit. That's the way I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? Go But go ahead, brother Moko. Whoever was next, go ahead.
Nah, one thing I wanted to say, thanks for letting me speak. Shout out to everybody in the space. Mel Cruz, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that I definitely see creative. Shout out to everybody in the space. I will say this. I love the fact that Jacksonville is not letting nobody spin the narrative. I love that y'all stand 20 toes down on saying this is racism, white supremacy. I'm glad that I don't hear anybody for the most part, other than the one little young lady I heard on this news clip. But I'm glad that I hear everybody that I speak to that's from Florida or from Jacksonville is just stand 10 toes down on this is racism, white supremacy. Y'all ain't letting them spin it to no other fucking narrative, which is beautiful, awesome. Stay on it. And I just want everybody to understand that this is the time for us to start being spitting the meaning of what justice is, what justice looks like, the two guarantees that make up the word justice. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little brother. Rest in peace. His name, Mr. McKee. You know what I'm saying? His mother watched him get murdered just a week ago. You know what I'm saying? Police ruled it an overdose. The news got in front of the mother's face. The mother said, "This is." And she kept getting stuck, not saying white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? She called it a bunch of other shit that it wasn't, but she didn't say it was white supremacy. I say because he was in front of a white person holding a mic, and a white person was holding a mic to her and asking her the question. But I just want to all see that this is an example that we got to follow. You know what I'm saying? We can't get tongue-tied when it's racism, white supremacy. We can't get tongue-tied and calling racism, white supremacy out. We can't get tired of saying it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop redressing this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is racism, white supremacy. I hope the racist rot hell, and I hope he get the same bullet that he gave out. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be unapologetic about that shit. Period. Fuck whoever feels some kind of way about the words I'm using, the way I choose to use them. I can give a fuck. Yo, he a white supremacist. He killed black people. He need to go right back where them black people are to apologize. And I land my plane there.
Hey, real talk on that one, for sure. You know what I mean? And look, you know, this is why y'all gotta follow Brother Moko. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Y'all gotta follow Brother Moko right here that just spoke. And what days do you have your codification classes, brother?
People activity every Wednesday, 5 o'clock. I try having it at 5 o'clock. So to make it easy for everybody to join. Sometimes I make it a little later. But yeah, we got to start staying 10 toes down on that. Thanks for that, DJ. Yeah, you know, people activity every Wednesday at 5.
Right, for sure. So y'all heard that. Follow Brother Moko. Get the people's activity lessons, aka the Be More Codified lessons. That's what I call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck on my Be More Codified shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I be telling people. Hey, thanks for supporting the QR code. You are codified. You know what I'm saying? But follow Brother Moko, and y'all can come up here and start getting these lessons that are just, you know, what we need to really start doing as a people. Because again, 1 out of every 500,000 at this fucking point. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing, man. There's only 1 or 2 in between. And you gotta take care of yourself and protect yourself before you can make it happen for anyone else. So this is a problem right here we're facing. And obviously, you know, Joker was a coward. You offed yourself. Why you didn't just go off yourself? Why you had to go take somebody else out? And then if you wanted to take somebody out, you know what I'm saying? Why you ain't gonna take the people that was fucking with you out? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they weren't never black. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't take some people out in your own family? So your white neighbor next door and shit. I'm pretty sure he an a-hole. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Early. What's up, bro?
What's up with you, dog?
What up, big dog?
Hey, man, you know, motherfuckers gotta realize, like, that white boy chose that shit. Pick that shit out. Black folks, for some reason, they think white folks supposed to love. You're not supposed to love them, dog. I don't get eyes. Shit be cracking me up. All of them. What's the how the fuck they gonna keep their bloodline alive if they fucking trying to fuck with and have mixed babies? They ain't trying to do that shit. So motherfuckers, that white boy picked that motherfucking spot out. You know them motherfuckers weren't strapped up.
assume that the white ice is colder. This is the problem or the narrative with Negroes. You know, we love white folks too much to give them up. My great auntie's willing to announce black people too much to give them up. So what's your thoughts on that? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's how we pray. That's how our generation. You know what I'm saying? We weren't raised in the 60s and shit where they was fighting the motherfucker. We was raised in the post-integration shit.
Right.
We delusional.
Oh man, that's hard.
I mean, we delusional, dog. Yes, they need motherfuckers like me. Everybody come. All the Arabs come. Oh, he from the everybody come. Oh, that's my brother. Hey, that's my brother. No, all the while, they like, fuck y'all niggas. Right? Make sure you niggas don't spot. Hey, that's what's weird, man. Motherfuckers need to stop this shit, dog. Motherfuckers need to play what it is. All of them are target.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of them. Motherfucker comes to that door, nigga, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Right?
You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, bro.
Soft ass shit, man. I'll get back on the door. I'll get back.
For sure.
Yo, I'm back. Just to let y'all know, I'm back up in the space.
Hey, what's up, I wanted to add something to that too, DJ, about that mentality. You know, we start to see a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? The Kyle Rittenhouses and all these little white little cowboys going to these soft target marks. You know what I'm saying? Places where heavenly soft targets are at. You know what I mean? They won't go up in no hood where they wouldn't go up in pork and beans and do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they know niggas is strapped up and niggas will hit back. You know what I'm saying? But this is a true case of white people always having a inherent fear against black people, because why? We never rose back up against slavery. In the back of their mind, they like, these niggas at some one point in time, they are going to tear our asses up for what we did to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's that forgiveness aspect. And I'm glad that I'm starting to see how people start not to forgive motherfuckers a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to forgive, excuse my French, because I know this is a recorded space. But yeah, we take that element of forgiveness out. These white people are terrified. That's why you're starting to see all these mass shootings everywhere, in the schools, in the supermarkets. You know what I'm saying? Out in public. You know what I'm saying? Because they understanding that, this generation, the generation before them, and all right, maybe the civil rights generation, we have forgiveness still in them, but they starting to see that we don't have no forgiveness. My children, I'm teaching my children, don't forgive. You don't forgive nobody. You know what I'm saying? You tell a motherfucker so it don't be done again. You know what I'm saying? When you forgive a person, you opening up that same thing for that same thing to happen again. And these white people starting to see this younger black generation, they ain't got no forgiveness in their heart. You know what I'm saying? So they retaliating, and I look at these mass shootings as a form of retaliation before we retaliate on them. They already at a low birth rate anyway. Just think. And I always say this on posts, it's just random, but I always quote my man, rest in peace, Pop. Yo, but just think, if niggas decide to retaliate, we'll have a whole different reaction. Just think on a mass scale. Think if we decide to retaliate. That's what's in the back of these white niggas' minds. They thinking, man, if these niggas just think to retaliate, we will be gone. So we got to kill them first. That's how they thinking. I land right there.
Yeah, we're showing that. Hey, just real quick, Tyler. Hey, Chuck, you want to speak on that? What I said about the white ice photo thing?
Yeah, two brothers that just went ahead of me, man. I mean, they touched on a few things. I mean, but see, once you get into the psychosis of these white people, man, and and I think a lot of us, part of it is, we don't care what they think, and then part of it is, we need to get into the mind of these people to see how they really view us. You understand? Like, when blacks started getting into law enforcement, you understand? These niggas like, oh, hell no. We got the damn livestock running around with guns and badges. You know what I mean? And you got to remember how they view us now. Like, we were never supposed to be anything dignified, anything upstanding, none of that. You know, a school teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, none of that, bro. You know what I mean? I remember when I had a little situation in my hometown, man, and I had to go to court. And there's this judge there, racist as shit. Man, this motherfucker, he ended up getting reported. I forgot who they reported him to. But they reported him to his authorities. The judges have authorities too. And it was because he was out of hand, man. He was from back then. You know what I'm saying? And he treated people today like it did back then. Me and him got into it in the courtroom, man, because he doesn't know how to talk to people. He would talk to you like you were a goddamn slave. That's how it is, bro. So when you talk about destroying the strongholds and, getting into their politics, their world, what they built for them, what their great grandpappy sailed across the ocean to take in blood, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be talking about the fight of your life. So if you choose to take on that battle, you better be prepared. You better come with everything you got. And you can't fight him. You can't fight him like you fight anybody else. You're going to have to fight him worse than what he thinks about you. You got to. That's your only chance. Because he's already shown through history and present day that he's not afraid to do whatever to protect his way of life. I mean, we can go on and on. And we can go to Dylan Roof. We can go on to what's the guy that got murdered by the father and son down there in Ahmaud Arbery. We can talk about that. We can talk about Jacksonville. And I want y'all to understand now, all three of those incidents, and we can do the police, the cop Michael Slager, that shot the guy in the back when he was running. So I want you to understand all four of those incidents happened within a hour and a half radius.
Damn, what's brother named Walter Scott, I think.
Scott. Yep. All that happened in an hour and a half, no more than 2 hour radius. From Charleston, South Carolina to Savannah, Georgia, to Jacksonville. So no, we're talking about maybe 3 hours. So this is the type of, this is what you're dealing with, man. And this is from the suburbs, to the white trash, all of it. This is what they believe.
Hey guys, I think we may have lost the Twitter space. Let me see.
Sharita Sexy Gun Club. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Okay, because I had kind of lost connection for a second. I had to close it out and jump back up in here real quick.
Yeah, for sure. So, it's all good and shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, go get your pistol or concealed carry license or open carry license, whatever you want to call it. 14A over 2A. Shout out to Black Majority, too. So, make sure y'all sign up for social. SOXCIAL.com. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I had lost connection for just a second, like everything had kind of froze up in the space, so I could hear y'all, but then it was like I just couldn't hear you for a second, so I had to kind of close it out and jump back up in here real quick. Brother Moku, go ahead. Anybody else that wants to speak, we ain't gonna keep the space going too much longer. It's a Sunday night. We did want to jump up in here and touch up on this topic as well. Like I said, tomorrow night, guys, we're gonna be talking about the New York bill, the New York reparations bill. We're gonna also be talking about the extremist Trump supporters. You got a group talk about niggas for Trump. So we're gonna be talking about all that tonight. That's up in the jumbotron. That's the fourth one, I believe, or fifth one on the left-hand side. So definitely 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the Twitter space, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, if you're up in the space and you're not following Newstoter, the YouTube link is up in the jumbotron as well, too. It's on the far left-hand side. Like I said, we ain't going to keep the space going too much longer. We did want to touch up on this tonight because very important topic. So let me go ahead and get to Brother Moku. Brother Moku, what's going on?
Definitely needed space. I posted in the a few articles I had on my wall. These are 80s articles. Now I'm a 80s 90s baby. I was born in '74. You feel what I'm saying? I got 3 articles on my wall from the fucking 80s talking about white privilege shaping the U.S. This shit ain't new, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So these articles I want y'all to check out in the chat. Y'all can blow them up. You can make copies. You know what I'm saying? You can screenshot it and blow it up and read it for yourself. But even back then, these white people are telling you how their privilege is shaping America. This shit ain't new. You know what I'm saying? So these articles are for all those ones out here saying it's deeper than white supremacy. Oh, we got other bigger fish to fry than other than white supremacy. White supremacy is the fucking problem, is the root to all of our problems. To every goddamn problem we got. You need food stamps. That's white supremacy's fault. You ain't got toilet paper to wipe your ass. That's white supremacy's fault. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my baby father a piece of shit. That's white supremacy's fault. And for the niggas, my baby mother, she ain't shit. That's white supremacy's fault. Let's start really pointing out this white supremacy and stop letting the white supremacists off the hook. I just gave you proof in the 80s they was planning this. How their privileges is going to shape America. And that's how it's doing now, is shaping us. When you can have a white motherfucker walk up in a black neighborhood and have a conversation with the black people, you supposed to shoot them down. This ain't no time to be clowning around. This ain't no time to be making up some whole new vague ass term that don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of using a term that's out there that fit. You know what I'm saying? This is racism, white supremacy, y'all. And that's what we fight. And the only way you can defeat racism, white supremacy is by replacing it with justice. Guaranteeing that nobody is harmed ever at any time. And guaranteeing whoever needs help get the most constructive help. So they don't never need help again. Let's stop pussyfooting and running away from this shit. Racism, white supremacy need to be eliminated with justice. And we got the power to do it. We got the power to do this shit. We need to stop fucking around, keep calling it everything else except for what the fuck it is, and handle this shit. Sure enough, if you got a water leaking and running in your living room, you ain't gonna call an electrician to handle some water. You feel me? Let's start calling this problem what it is and let's handle this shit. Real talk, like in 15 minutes. I'm so sick of racism, white supremacy, I don't know what to do. But I know one thing, justice gotta come through. Justice gotta come through. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just a person just talking about this shit week in and week out. No, they got this strategic plan. I'm following this shit. I'm following this shit because I see it. I can't unsee it. And I know we got the power to undo this shit. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy ain't Superman. But goddamn, if you let it run rampant, it's gonna kill you. And it's gonna kill your offsprings. And it's gonna kill your offspring before they even a thought in your nutsack. Real talk. And that's what's happening right now. So I'm gonna land right there. Thanks for letting me speak, Tyler. Thanks for the space.
No problem. No problem. As always, glad to have you up here. Aeon, what's going on?
Hey, good evening, Newstoter. Good evening, DJ.
What's up?
Shout out to brother Monko, man, because I am very tired of some of this stuff on this app with people with this word white supremacy. I just just don't even have the tolerance or patience anymore to deal with anybody that tries to refute elsewise. But I just wanted to share real quick because, like I said, I'm currently the secretary of the ANDL, or Anti-Negro Defamation League, and we're in the process. I'm in the process of doing this press release, so I've just been kind of taking a step back and just looking at some of the commentary, listening to some stuff, trying to keep myself from snapping on people in some of these other spaces that I was in listening. Because I graduated. I'm here in Central Florida right now, and born and raised here. And I graduated from Orange Park High School in '01. This was less than a year, about almost 2 years after Columbine. And I remember when we went through that, even at that time, throughout the state of Florida, after that event happened, they had a no shits policy on anything that popped off. Keep in mind, this was even after that, a few years after the Oklahoma City bombing with Timothy McVeigh, and I don't know if anybody remembers the documentary that he had before he was executed at that time. That was a stone cold white supremacist right there. He had no thought, he had no feeling. It was like a shark, looking in their eyes. That's how I see these people now. Like I'm just not willing to just sit here and just some of the talking points that I've been hearing. That's why I said I've had to take a step back, because I just feel like I'm just going to snap on some people, because it goes back to what Chuck was saying earlier. I'm the type of person, I like to get into the mindset of these monsters, because they source their materials from somewhere. Just for Brother Mocha, because I know what he rocks with and preaches. Gus T. Renegade has done phenomenal specials over the years with his broadcast, The Context of White Supremacy, or the Cows broadcast. One of his more powerful ones that he did that I almost got into an argument with him was that damn Dylan Storm Roof. I like I said, like Brother Mocha said, I don't like hearing our people talk about forgiving these fuckers. I just don't want to hear it. And I'm glad that the people on the ground here are not with the fuck shit. But I'm trying to brace myself, because I know how things can go here in Florida. But so far, it's okay. But when that incident in South Carolina happened, I literally almost lost it on air with Gus and other people, because I can't deal with the you got to understand other black people, how they that's just me. That's just one of my weaknesses, I guess. But I mean, we truly got to get serious about these people, because they are very serious with us. Gus had also did a broadcast, I believe, covering the Turner Diaries, Hunter, as well. Those two books are literally these white supremacists' Bibles, and it will be in our best interest to really, if you have not read those books or don't know what those books are, to definitely get your hands on them, or go to Gus's broadcast to see if you can download the audios files on them, if he still has them. I think he still has them on iTunes. But we gotta stay on top of this, and we just gotta be ready and stop playing with these fucking people, because they're not playing with us. And I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, Ayon. Ely, you had your hand up. Did you still want to speak or you good? Ely, you good? You wanted to speak or you okay? Not sure if he's there. Okay, well let me go to 1865 Black. 1865 Black, what's going on?
Yeah, hey Newstoter, how the family doing?
Hey, what's up now?
Yeah, this this topic, like when I saw it, really disturbed me, man. But I appreciate the fact that you reported that news the right way. You know, you put the mass shooting in the title because all of the big news stations, CNN and New York Times, and all of those, if you look at their titles, none of their titles say mass shooting. All of that, they kind of gave that name to us, and they used, some of our people to report it that way. And I heard the sister just speaking about trying to come up with a story or something. And, I would just ask that if she could, make sure she put that word mass shooting in there. Because that name belongs to that specific demographic and that age group. They're notorious for it. And they usually go after our vulnerable adults. They go after our poor, our seniors. They go in churches. They go in supermarkets at 11 o'clock in the morning. We all know who's in the market at 11 in the morning. Our senior citizens are now dollar stores. So, I mean, they really don't get any points for the stuff that they do. They just heartless and coward. And it's definitely something more to it. And I think it's been a big push to push gun laws and gun reform more than it is to look at it for what it is. They don't want to demonize their people. They don't want to demonize their 20-year-olds. So they say, let's share this with the black people. Let's get the young black men and we put that label on all of them. And something happened in Chicago, or something happened in Baltimore, or something happened in Florida. But the difference is that although the shootings is not necessarily the best thing, we don't get down like that. We don't go out. We don't wake up. We don't go out and say we hate people and just take it out on anybody. If a shooting takes place and a lot of people get shot, it's because the shooter could not shoot. You know what I mean? And it was definitely motivated by something. We don't just wake up and say we hate the world and start shooting people. We all know who that profile fit. But it's like the government and everybody else is protecting these people. They don't want, that the same way 9/11, they didn't want it, to be put on the Muslims, right? So they kind of made sure that, they were protected. We were on a plane and somebody cracked a joke about somebody wearing a kufi. It was a big deal, there was a lot of stigma attached to that. So when there was a lot of stigma attached to mass shooting, so now you hear that term with shootings in Chicago on a basketball court, shootings in Baltimore, these are, gang-related shootings. They're different shit, but when you start talking mass shootings and using a term that the FBI has identified as a certain demographic, and it fits a certain profile, and they have a profile for it, that's who commits the mass shootings, like our black people in power that are out here coming up with these stories need to report this stuff the right way. They need to not be scared, because I'm telling you, man, you look at CNN and all of those places, I mean, all day, they've been calling this guy a gunner. They've been calling him a gunner or a shooter. They just removed the mass shooter. He went there with an AR-15 and a Glock 9mm and a bulletproof vest on. And I know he didn't just let off, 3 shots, but he shot multiple people. And anything 3 or over here, it was 4 with himself. this was a mass shooting, and the word has changed. The definition has changed. It just changed 6 months ago with the gun reform acts that they've been pushing back in the black communities to keep us on the arm. Like this is something that is being strategically done, and I appreciate the fact that you have that, in your title and calling it what it is and reporting the news the way it is.
Definitely, brother. That's what it was. It was a mass shooting and had to put the hate crime in there as well too. So we had to kind of, let people know it was all of that. It was, if we could put more in these actual Twitter titles, I would have put more than that in there as well too. But it was definitely a hate crime. It was definitely a mass shooting. So definitely, you're right. When it comes to this right here, they're trying to downplay that actual title. Any other time, they don't have an issue saying mass shooting, but that's exactly what it was: a hate crime, mass shooting, all rolled up into one. So, once again, thank you, 1865. Let me go ahead and get to Ely. I know your hand was up. Did you want to say something, Ely? Because I know you had your hand up at one time. I'm not sure if Ely's still in the space or not. But shout out to Ely. I know he was speaking earlier. So, DJ, I guess then we'll go ahead and let you get ready to close it out. We'll close it out for the night. We'll be back tomorrow night on that New York reparation bill and Trump and niggas for Trump as well too. So y'all make sure y'all tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, brother, he said he'll be back in a second. I know he had probably at work or something like that or whatever. So if you hear, bro, just come back up here real quick before we shut it down. So what you call it? What I was gonna say. So yeah, everybody said the same thing. That's correct. And like I said, the moment I landed in the city last night, that Jacksonville Dollar General situation just popped right up on my ticket. So I got that instantly. Did when you're walking around Times Square, you know how it is on TV. You see all these big screens with the news ticker. They was displaying that on the news, but you know what the problem was? Nobody paid attention to it because New York legalized cannabis, so everybody just chilling, smoking outside. Ain't nobody looking at what's going on in the news. And then there was another shooting somewhere else. I forgot where it was. I think it was up in Boston. Something happened in Boston. It's the same thing going on. Everybody anti-black better start delineating and separating yourself. You know what I mean? And then it goes the same thing for your job. Your friends. I don't be around my white homies like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I talk about, or when we talk about what's going on, like we're talking about it now, they come with every excuse in the book not to understand why I'm talking about it. Why y'all never ask, hey, are you okay? What's going on? What can I do to help? You never get that from
Hey, DJ, up with you in Jersey, isn't Dollar General a non-codified business? Because I know in Baltimore it is. They QR codes.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is with that's a corporation. So the management there at that particular store, they don't have to do anything. The best thing to do is holler at these corporations. So, okay, let's talk about that 2 seconds. I actually be calling these corporations and looking for their sponsorship things on their websites and all this other stuff. Hey, get codified with us. You know what I'm saying? As long as you codify with us, when we do get our reparations, we'll continue to shout with you a little something. You know what I'm saying? So your best thing to do is, try to follow up behind me. And, if you want to try to do business at Dollar General, because there's a bunch of them most likely in Baltimore, as well as Dollar Trees and all this other stuff, call that corporate office. Hey, who's the sponsor? 9 times out of 10, well, hell no, 10 out of 10, you're going to run into a Karen at the gate, a Hades. You know what I'm saying? That's guarding everything. You got to get to her. She like the boss before the final boss. You know what I'm saying? And you know how the boss before the final boss is always the hardest because the boss be easy sometimes. You know what I mean? But that guardian dragon, you ain't gonna get past her, not one bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing to do is just try to hit little spots up that are self-owned, 1 or 2 people or whatever it be, not a corporation. Franchises, I guess, is all right. It's depending on the level of the franchise. I think it's a little bit easier to get in touch with the headquarters because it ain't that many stores. See, a place like Dollar Tree, they're nationwide and globally wide. They're globally wide. And don't forget, I think it's Dollar Tree. They own a couple other type dollar stores too. See what I'm saying?
Family Dollar owns Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. I thought, I was about to say Dollar Tree, old Family Dollar, right?
So yeah, it's the other way around. And definitely Family Dollar is not a supporter of reparations as well. I definitely called them for trying to get a cleaner contract with them. So they definitely don't support reparations as well.
Right. So even with that being said, all right. So some businesses that I went represent codified, but I still had to list moment that they said, hey, look, give me a call back. Or like I said again, if this is a corporation, it's not that they wouldn't even begin, but the situation is you're gonna have to do one, call the headquarters and make sure you have all your paperwork straight as far as like your tax ID. Always know I'm talking about this shit. Your tax ID, your DBA, doing business as, make sure you got your DUNS number, all that other stuff, and step to them like that. You feel what I'm saying? The best thing to do, honestly, and I hate even telling y'all this because I think it's BS and a bunch of malarkey because these white folks don't need a business plan. Nine times out of 10 to get a loan. They just go into the bank, put their social security number down, whatever it is they do, and they just give them the money. So get with somebody that you may know, specifically, I think in my opinion, a grant writer, because that's where most of the money is at. If you can find get somebody that's cool that that's into grants, and being that you're down in the DMV area, that should be really easy. You feel what I'm saying? You might have to travel into DC area, get close to the outer skirts or something like that, Capitol Heights, you feel what I'm saying, Arlington or whatever. Look for folks in that area. You might have to ask wifey and everybody else that's down there in Bmore and DMV area. Hey, anybody that worked for the grant writing office? I had a connect, and then when I was living down there, I should have stayed up with that, but I didn't understand it because I am for profit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a non-profit. I am for profit. So why would I, not to say ever need them, but it's like I'm not looking at it like that. You see what I'm saying? So just to give you another understanding, I'll call one of my he's not my councilman here on this side, but the brother used to live over here and he always supported my DVDs and shit on my main CDs. So I called him up, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, blah blah blah, reparations or whatever. So he pretty much stopped me in my track. He said, look, I don't mind putting in a good word for you or even helping you because I know you're a good person, but you're gonna have to call your town council. Now remember what I said, you're gonna have to deal with the boss before the boss. And that boss also could be the same color skin as you. So when he told me that, get in touch with your town councilman, I let him know from the door. I said, hey, look, I'm going to do it only because you're telling me what to do. But I'm almost positive when I do call you back, I'm going to hear nothing from this other town councilman, who is black, by the way, a black woman, you know what I'm saying, and has not called me back yet to this day. This was almost like a month ago now, bro. You know what I'm saying? To try to get the township. Repeat, the town I live in, Irvington, New Jersey. I call it North. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all the same to me. You know what I'm saying? To sponsor our QR code newsletter and our social site. Well, like Big Bro said, hey, look, that sounds like grants that you need. Not so much, the town is not going to help you from a business perspective like that, but they should. We're doing business inside of the town. But again, I always have to remember, considering where I live at, my whole life, bro. My whole fucking life, with the exception of living on the other side of Newark, you know what I'm saying? All these businesses up here in Irvington have been other non-black people. All my life, I noticed that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then they only hire non-Negro freedmens. Yeah, you'll see a black face there, but they are other black. You feel what I'm saying? So imagine understanding this as a kid in the 90s. You feel what I'm saying? Going to the town center, dealing with these folks and shit, not understanding that, damn, I'm being uncodified because I'm not shopping with my own folks. But damn, my own folks don't got the jewelry store. They don't got the liquor store. They don't got the supermarket. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like our people up here is just so fucking kind-hearted and dumb all these years. And shit, including me. Can't point the finger without throwing rocks at a glass house. You understand this shit? You know what I mean? We shouldn't be around these people, yo. You know what I'm saying? Last night in the city, I had this one sister that I was talking to.
Hey, real quick, DJ, because we're gonna get ready to close it out. So go ahead and
go ahead and close it out. I know you're busy, bro. Go ahead and close it out. I'm sure I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. So shout out to everybody who came in the space tonight to talk about this very important issue. We'll definitely keep our eyes on this. Being in Florida, we'll try to see exactly what's going on and exactly what's going to take place from here on out, guys. So definitely keep your eyes on it as well too. So shout out to you guys for joining us this Sunday night on this special Newstoter Twitter space. Catch us tomorrow, like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the for the space on the New York reparation bill, as well as the space entitled also niggas for Trump as well. Bunch of black people out here talking about they niggas for Trump. So we're going to touch up on that as well too. So shout out. Thank you guys. You guys have a great Sunday night. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.